In this next set of clips, we're going to be working from Chapter 4, The Present Moment. And here we're going to be helping the client to contact the present moment and to also move away from spending too much time in their history or in their future. We'll also be helping the client to see the moment as an ongoing experience so that they're in the process of contacting the moment with awareness rather than getting caught up in what their mind has to say about past and future. In this particular competency, we're going to be focusing on helping the client to contact the present moment. This client that we're working with is having a lot of anxiety and sadness around her feelings of loneliness. And she's also feeling like she can't stand it any longer.
I just feel like even when I'm in a room with 100 people that I'm still by myself, and I want to have friends and I want to go out, but I just feel alone no matter what I do. And when I'm at home, I'm really unhappy and really lonely, but I just can't be around anybody.
Can I have you go back to this statement that you made? I just really feel alone no matter what I do. Could you say that again for me? A little slower.
Because I used to have people calling me and...
So I'm just going to interrupt you gently again.
Okay.
And see if we can get you back to this moment, this space where this loneliness is showing up. Could you just, for me, one time say, I'm really feeling this loneliness.
I'm really feeling this loneliness.
Okay. And just stay there. Just be aware of what your body's doing. Notice your hands. Notice the little shimmer as you breathe in.
Yeah.
Notice the feel of the tears in your eyes and rolling down your cheeks. And let's just stay in this moment with this experience.
It's hard.
Yeah, now notice that your mind said that in this moment. And you just took a deep breath. Stay with it for just another few moments.
Well, I really feel that...
Okay, I'm going to slow you down again. And just from a very gentle place,
Okay.
a very gentle place, ask you to stay and notice, that's all. Your breath. As you observe yourself, can you feel it changing? You feel it move in and out?
Yeah.
So what you notice here is that as a process, like you're experiencing an ongoing sense in each moment of sadness, your hands moving, tears rolling down your cheek. So one thing that your experience tells you is that you can stand it, and it keeps changing.
Yeah.
In this clip, we did an act consistent piece, and essentially what I was helping the client to do was just stay present to the moment. Gentle interruptions to help that process happen are okay. Sometimes therapists will stray away from that because they're taught that they shouldn't interrupt the client while they're speaking. But speaking in certain contexts and situations can really lead the client away from their experience, away from what's happening right now. So those gentle interruptions to help the client show up to that place are one way to help them contact the moment. Describing what's happening for them, helping them be aware of what's going on in this moment to the next. Additionally, it helps them contact the ongoing experience that happens in each coming moment. So emotions change from maybe heavier to lighter. You notice that your tear is rolling down a cheek at one moment and that your hands are wringing the next. So you can kind of see the ongoing process of experience there too. There's one place where I think that I made a small mistake when I asked her to do it for me. I wouldn't normally do that, and I wouldn't recommend that others do it either, because this is really about what's there for her to do in terms of where she's headed in her life.
Well, I just feel really alone most of the time, and even when I'm with people, I'm still just so by myself, and I feel like no one cares or even notices when I walk into a room.
Well, so let's start there with no one noticing that you've walked into a room.
Yeah.
What emotion comes up with that?
Like, I don't know, sadness.
Are you feeling it now?
Yeah, a little bit.
So just stay with what you're feeling right now, even the little bit. Just be present to that.
Well, it's like, I feel like I try a lot of the time really hard to make efforts to bring people together, and even when I'm in a group and I'm formulating something, that it's like the whole group ends up clicking except me, and I'm always on the outside of it.
What other areas are you on the outside?
At work, I feel like we'll be having a meeting or something, and I'll end up going into my head about something, and then I'll miss the conversation, and then everyone will start laughing, and then, you know, I will not have any idea what just took place.
How long has this been a problem for you?
I don't know, it would happen in grade school, playground stuff.
Okay. So you could probably describe this, all kinds of things about how this happens.
Well, in the 3rd grade, I tried to formulate this cheerleading group for this flag football that the boys did, and I put the whole thing together, and we went down to the field to present our new cheers, and then the flag football guys, they really liked it, but they said, okay, we want to take everyone except you. And it was my idea.
Right, right.
And I was the one who ended up being on the outskirts again, and I really tried that time to...
So outskirts is really part of the problem, being on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Maybe we can think of ways to help you not be on the outskirts anymore. In this clip, we initially started by making an act-consistent move, asking the client to show up to what she's experiencing. But then once the client began to offer material after that, then the clip became act inconsistent. The therapist got caught up in the content of what the client was saying. And if you think about this clip as compared to clip number 1, where the client was being asked to be in the moment, they're seemed to be a much more kind of vital and alive emotional connection in that place. In this second clip, where I'm caught and off in content of what she's saying, she's crying, but she's crying about the past. It has a different quality to it, where she's kind of crying about the story of the cheerleader. And it's lost some of its vitality, some of its openness and uniqueness in the moment. That also might have been a time where I could have slowed her down and asked her to get present again, to show up to what she's experiencing in the moment again, and to try and get her out of her past and back to this place. In this next clip, we're going to be working on core competency 3. In this competency, we'll be working with the client to help him see his experience as an ongoing process. So it'll be a showing up to each moment. This particular client is very worried about aging and has an urgency about him in terms of getting things done in his life before it's too late.
I just don't have a whole lot of time here. I mean, I just woke up one day and I was like 57, okay? I'm not ready for this. I keep myself busy with doing whatever I need to do to I don't want to deal with this. I mean, I'm getting older and my hair is falling out. I'm just sick of this. I don't want it. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for the age to come in yet.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but you don't understand. You don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like I'm already 57. Do you get that?
So what I want...
57, how am I gonna...
What I want you to do...
There's too much I have to do in my life yet. I'm not ready.
So if I could interrupt you for just a moment.
Man, you don't understand, do you?
And just notice what it is.
I do notice what it is.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to pause and just take a deep breath.
Okay.
And notice how it is that you're talking about this. I can feel the pressure and the urgency.
The anxiety.
Are you aware of that? Can you locate that?
It's the pressure.
Yeah. Where do you feel it?
Feel it in my heart.
So I just want you to stay present to that.
I don't have a lot of time to sit and be present.
Yeah. And notice that. What emotion shows up with that?
Sadness. Failure. I don't want to go out like that.
So I ask you just to hang in there and notice this place, notice this moment. And also as you notice these moments, as you show up to them, something changed. The urgency left.
Wow. It did.
In this last segment, we worked with the client to contact the present moment. It required getting the client to slow down and observe their behavior. In this contact, the client also slowed down in terms of the experience of urgency. This is act consistence in the sense that we want the client to kind of experience the moment as it unfolds in the here and now. So the urgency does dissipate, but it's not as a long-term goal for the client, but as an awareness of what happens when you show up to the moment.